This week on Jon Thelen's Destination Fish, we drill holes on early ice in search of crappies living on the edge. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Lindy Fishing Tackle, Striker, and L&M Fleet Supply. I'm going to do a little bit of mid-afternoon crappie fishing today. There's fish on the screen already. Did a little bit of looking around. Popped a couple holes, looked around a little bit, but I'll tell you what, predictable time of year. They're right where I would have expected them to be, and we're going to see if they do what I expect them to do. See if they just snap. This is pretty early ice we're sitting on. About 7 inches of ice. A lot of guys look at early ice a little bit earlier than I do, but I like to be able to come out with the snowmobile, and you know, you're not four-wheeler, you're not far off of the side-by-side right now. There he is. That feels like the right kind. Feels like a decent fish. Just reached up to open the vents. It was getting a little warm in here. And this fish hit it when I wasn't even paying attention. It just goes to show you, oh yeah, nice crop. Not a giant, but I'll tell you what he is. Perfect eater size crappie. Got himself spun one time. Look at that. Perfect eater size crop, I suppose, 10-incher. He'll go in the pail. We're fishing deep enough that I'm not gonna throw fish back. We're gonna keep the first 10 we catch, but that's a good fish right there. We'll take him. It's late December. We're fishing 30 to 32 feet down the shoreline side of a deep water hole. Big baits are key today. 1/16 ounce Lindy quiver spoons tipped with minnow heads are doing the trick. The weather is stable with sunny skies and light winds. It's a great day to be on the ice. If we can get him to bite, that's going to be a good crop. Right there, got him. That's a crappie. You just tell the way he came up, sat on that bait, and gave me the time to watch him and separate the bait a little bit. It's a good fish. I'm not going to tell you he's a giant. But the lake I'm fishing today, it's not loaded with giants. You know what? I'm wrong. Oh, look at this. There's not a lot of giants in this lake. And when I say giants, I'm talking 14 plus, okay? But that one right there, that's just a quality fish no matter where you go. That's a 13-inch crappie right there. Man, I'll tell you, that is awesome stuff. I want to talk to you about the bait I'm using, because the bait I'm using is making a difference. I was talking a little earlier about using big baits. Look at that. That's an awesome crappie. I don't care where you're fishing. That right there, that is just flat out an awesome fish. Look at that. That's cool. But I want to talk about the bait I'm using a little bit because it's one of my favorites. This is the Quiver Spoon by Lindy. And here's the thing about the Quiver Spoon. It's made from a super lightweight material. Every time I jig this spoon up, it's gonna flutter back down. But here's the really neat thing. Whole bunch of new colors this year. A lot of, you know, in the past we did a lot of the color schemes that were like the old Technoglow, and man, they're just flat out fish catchers with that plated back and then those colors on the front. And now we've added a whole bunch of more custom looking colors. You look at that, I'll tell you what, that thing starts fluttering back down and it looks like a perch. It looks like whatever it is they're eating on the back when you've got that plated back. And every single one of these is either plated gold or plated chrome. So you get flash, you get that little bit of vibration as this thing's floating back down. It looks like a wounded bait fish and a whole bunch of awesome colors. And you know, you never know when you come out exactly what they're gonna be eating, but I'll tell you from experience that most of the time when I'm sitting on early ice and I'm chasing crappies, spoons, bigger baits get me the bigger fish or more of those keeper fish. All said and done, I'd much rather fish a spoon, know I've got a shot throughout the day at those better fish. And I mean, a crappie like that one, I mean, that's just an awesome fish anywhere you go. But you might not get him fishing small. We're fishing aggressive and we're fishing big. And that's how we've got that fish in the bucket. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors. Ooh, this looks like a good fish. This is a good one. Got him. Just tell when he was coming up that it was a crop. He looked like a decent fish, but now I'm starting to think he might be on the smaller side. No, I think he's actually toughened up there as we were coming up. Got a little tougher as we went. It's funny how that works. Oh yeah, nice crappie. Look at that one. Another great fish. Man, that is cool stuff. Let's talk location real quick. First ice crappies. Remember where we found them in the fall? We found them on the edges of holes, meandering around out there, because what happened is the weeds started dying off, the bait fish left, and the crappies followed. That fish right there, he's in the same spot right now that he was in this fall. So here's what I'm gonna start by doing. I'm always gonna look where there were weeds growing, okay? Because here's what you gotta know, they're still close by. They haven't had to start roaming the whole basin yet. So they're gonna be nearby. They're gonna be on the edges of those holes, really close to where those weeds were that they left in the fall. And then pick the sides of the holes or the edges of the holes where that weed growth might have been the closest. If you go out and you pick a hole and you pick the center of the lake side of the hole, here's what you're gonna find out. There were no weeds out there, and most likely those crappies aren't gonna be out there. Pick the side of the hole, the edge of the hole that's closest to that shoreline where those weeds were growing, and you'll find that those crappies are gonna be right there. There he is, got him. I watched him bite this in the tip. Man, that's cool. Hey, one of the things I want to point out is what I'm using for a rod. It's a tuned up custom 32-inch bullwhip. Now, if I was fishing the rattling quiver spoon and needed to engage rattles without much movement on the spoon, big crappie, look at this one. Holy smokes, he got it in the bottom lip, so I gotta be careful how I grab him. Nice crappie. And get him unhooked. That with this toothpick real quick and easy. Look at that, popped it right out. Simple deal. Look at that, awesome crappie. But here's why I'm using the bullwhip. Bullwhip has a little bit softer tip than the Fusion. If I was fishing a rattling spoon, I'd probably use the Fusion because I can move the spoon a little bit less and snap it a little bit more with that stiffer tip on that rod. So ultimately, man, I'll tell you, this is the perfect stick for the job, this 32-inch bullwhip. Starting to cool down. They said this was going to happen. It's just getting a little chillier outside. I want to show you something really cool. I'm running the new Heat Hog heater. Something that I'm running for the first time this year, and one of the things you can do with it that's different than the competition is you can actually tip it. And that's a big deal because here's the thing, instead of having to turn it up to just push heat parallel out along the floor or along the ice, actually when I tip it up, I don't have to crank it up so much, it just moves that heat up toward me. It's a pretty slick deal. Here he comes. Gonna hit it. There he is, got him. That's cool. That's cool when you can call it. That fish there though, I mean, you could tell what was gonna happen here. Look at that. Another great crappie. Man, I'll tell you, how do you beat this? I mean, it's just crazy good. And it's driven by the fact that we're just sitting here fishing an aggressive bait, one of those new colors on that quiver spoon, and we're sitting on a spot that's just got fish piled up on it. That's just awesome, and this is not hard to find. Get out on this early ice, look for those areas where weeds are nearby, because those fish, they haven't moved far out of those weeds. They've just found the nearest deep water. Get aggressive with them, drop down a bigger bait, a spoon, put a minnow on there and get after these fish. That's just awesome. What a great day. Man, was that ever some great crappie fishing. Next, we're gonna go walleye fishing, but before we do that, I wanna take just a quick minute, tell you a little bit about this Striker Trekker suit that you see me wearing today. The Trekker suit features 60 grams of Thermodex insulation, creating a lightweight ice suit that contains plenty of warmth. It also features hydropore waterproofing, meaning that you'll stay dry in snow and sleet, all the while delivering breathability to be sure you won't break out in a cold sweat. Like all Striker ice fishing suits, the Trekker contains 150 grams of sure float flotation, meaning you can hit the ice with peace of mind. The Trekker suit provides 3-season versatility, winter on the ice, then spring and fall in the boat. And with the Trekker, you get all that great striker quality without breaking the bank. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors.